at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays. When we each share a one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
95.7 The Game is an equal opportunity employer, and we encourage local community organizations to refer qualified applicants to us. You can receive The Game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station. It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
It is the Pregame Show. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're just waking up, getting ready for work, getting ready for the day, working out, school, whatever you're doing on this wet Tuesday. What the hell is this rain doing here? Get out of my door. The kindness of Sam Lubman to yet again give me a ride this morning. Thankfully, we live pretty close. Shout out Oakland, California. But I get out to the door to lock it. I was like, do I smell wet asphalt? Sure enough, I just see like a mist, a light rain coming down. I was like, what the hell is this? September 26th? No. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees. No? Well, we got rain today on a Tuesday. So please, drive safe if you're out on the roadways. Don't need to speed. Don't do any of that crap. Tailgating, none of that. Be safe. The roadways are slick. That's just my PSA this morning. Got a lot to get to. We had a couple games happen last night in the NFL. Bengals get the dub at home, and the Philadelphia Eagles go on the road at Tampa to get the win. Not a great game. Kind of sloppy, but I think that was emblematic of both the teams that got the dubs last night. Good teams find ways to win. And a Rams team that was 1-1 heading in, they gave the Niners a hard time, ultimately lost that game. But they got talent. Still got Matt Stafford, they still got Aaron Donald, still got Sean McVay as the coach. They got pieces. But that Bengals defense was the difference. That Eagles defense was the difference. And I think the Eagles and Niners have once again separated themselves as the class of the NFC. I go back to both these games that the Niners and Eagles just had yesterday. Obviously, Niners on Thursday Night Football, both primetime games. And I don't think the Niners looked all that great for most of it. Yeah, they pulled away late. But it wasn't like it was Brock Purdy's best performance. He got better as the game went on. But again, that's the hallmark of a great team. A great, not a good, a great team is being able to win when you're not playing your best. Jalen Hurts, I guess, had the flu yesterday, had flu-like symptoms. Look at his box score. That could be a reason why 23, 37, 277, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Not the best. That's sacked. But DeAndre Swift, 16 carries, $130. That's where the game was won. What they get DeAndre Swift for? A bag of peanuts? From the Detroit Lions? Howie Roseman, don't do deals with that man. Opposing GMs, don't do it. He'll swindle you. It's been proven. So the Eagles get the dub last night. They're 3-0. Niners are 3-0. Tampa falls to 2-1. They just got physically dominated last night. Physically dominated. Speaking of domination, and we'll continue to take your calls and texts as it pertains to the NFL, NBA, MLB all day right here on 95.7 The Game at 888-957-9570. That's the caller text, the Comcast Business text line. And you can also find us on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We are live and streaming. Look at this beautiful mug here at 5:04 a.m. Not super wet, thankfully. Wasn't soaking out here. in the Embarcadero area, but just be safe. Again, slick roadways, especially when you're wearing shorts and flip-flops. Was not dressed for the weather. That's all right. It'll clear up later. It's not like I dress for the weather anyways here at 95.7 The Game. I'm always in shorts and flip-flops pretty much. It is what it is. One of the perks of working in radio. You don't really get to see the waist down, so it's fine. And if you're just listening, you don't get to see me at all. So it's great. The illusion of the mind. You can think about what flip-flops and shorts I'm wearing. Could be Hawaiian. Could be a swimsuit. You don't know. What I do know is the Giants' gutsy win yesterday. Logan Webb, come on down. Complete game? All right.
Bouncing ball to second. Here's your ball game. That's it. A complete game for Logan Webb is the Giants. Hang in there. They beat the Padres. How about that?
Dwayne Kuiper on the call, NBC Sports Bay Area, as the Giants get a 2-1 victory over the San Diego Padres. Logan Webb, complete game. 9 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Blake Snell goes 6. Doesn't allow a run, but ultimately the Giants get it done, get 2 runs in the bottom of 8th. They improved to 78 and 79. Still ways to go here in the race. Probably over, but hey, never know. 4.5 back. You got the Phillies dominating the first wildcard spot. They're 5 games up. That's all but clinched. Arizona taking a loss yesterday. Cubs, they've won 3 straight. Both locked in at 82 and 74. We'll see what goes on there. Got Miami at 81-75. They're a game back of Arizona and Chicago. Then you got the Cincinnati Reds 2.5 back. Again, they're ahead of the Giants. So not looking good here for San Francisco as the season winds down, but it is interesting. Some comments were made from Logan Webb last night that caught my attention. Not the best audio quality. I'm going to say that at the forefront right here, but I think it's important to hear it. A lot of music in the background. It's a clubhouse. They got a nice win. They're excited. I get it. Logan Webb, kind of a soft-spoken individual, not the loudest voice, but what he said has a lot of weight, I think, in that clubhouse. And here's what he had to say after the win yesterday.
I'm tired of losing. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun. There's some big changes in here to really create that winning culture that we want to show up every single year and try to win the whole thing. I think we're there. It's just we gotta. I don't know what it is, but I'm just sick of losing.
He's sick of losing. That's one of the leaders of the team, and he is sick of losing. You know, when you have that breakout season that the Giants did a few years ago, and you had the type of postseason that Logan Webb had, to have these consecutive seasons of mediocrity, it's got to leave a horrible, horrible taste in your mouth. Knowing I'm not getting the run support, I'm doing all I can for the team. I'm the ace of this squad. I'm putting the team on my back night in and night out, and we got nothing to show for it. I mean, outside of Logan Webb and Camilo Doval, it was funny. Sam and I were talking about it yesterday, and we were just comparing, the Oakland A's. So we've had a horrible season. They're going to get 50 wins probably, and that's a great year considering where they were just a few months back probably. But you were just going up and down the lineup. Got Brent Rooker with 30 home runs. Got Zach Geloff, reigning AL Rookie of the Month. Couple times, I think, Rookie of the Week. But he's had some great couple weeks here in the bigs. You got him, you got Esteuri Ruiz. You got some pieces there. And I was like, you might take a few Oakland Athletics in the starting lineup for just going hitters before you get to the Giants. And that's just unacceptable. From where the state of these two franchises are. One's a foot out the door. They're trying to self-sabotage. They're trying to, alienate a fan base here in Oakland. They're doing their best to do so. It's Major League in real life. It's been well documented all season long. Just what kind of S show and bleep shows going on with Dave Cavill and John Fisher and co. over in Oakland. And here are the Giants. Michael Conforto apparently going to opt out. You got Jock Peterson. Nice to see Luciano put together some nice at-bats. You're hoping that could be the guy. That's the future. Luis Matos, you're hoping that's the future. You're hoping Kyle Harrison. You're hoping Patrick Bailey and Casey Schmitz of the world. You're hoping. Hope's not enough, though. You got to have some results. And you're seeing articles come out left and right now from the big beat writers, the Susan Slussers, the Andy Baggerleys of the world, kind of saying what we've been saying here at 95.7 The Game, what I've been saying here in the morning, what Bonte and Shasky have been saying. Yeah, this style of play, it alienates a lot of the people in the plug house. Not just the Alex Woods of the world, not just the, Confortos, Ross Striplings, whatever. And they're middle of the road guys. When Logan Webb starts saying it, that he's tired of losing and he's sick, after a win, your ears start to perk up a little bit. Holds more weight and gravitas. So Giants get the dub yesterday. It's great. Might be the last nice moment. I'm sure you'll have a nice moment when Brandon Crawford more than likely plays his last game, at least in a Giants uniform. Is it going to be his last game in the MLB? We shall see, but we'll wait and see what's going on there with Brandon Crawford, which will probably be an emotional at-bat, emotional couple at-bats, final at-bat, whatever. And what could be the last kind of remnants of a dynasty, if you will, for the San Francisco Giants. Belt's gone. He's in Toronto. By the way, Brandon Belt, Toronto Blue Jays. Watch out. Sammy Lubman, those Toronto Blue Jays looked poised to make the playoffs. Belt's not having a bad year. Say that. 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved. Comcast Business Text Line. Call in 888-957-9570. Again, Twitch and YouTube. We are up and streaming. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. Ring that bell. And it's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Good morning to EJ, Ernie, Wendy Aftovich. It's an alienation sensation. Thank you, Ernie. That's a buck. Atmospheric river, relax. It was not an atmospheric river this morning. It's still not going out in the bay. Although there were a lot of puddles here in Embarcadero and in the city. So it must have come down a little bit hard. Oakland knows, whatever. Just weird. You chiming in, Sammy? Pot yourself up. What's going on? Sam Lubman, ladies and gentlemen. Garlic fries and baseball.
It's more like a little atmospheric brook or something.
Yeah, there you go. Atmospheric Brent Rooker. A Brooker. Like that? That was a stretch. It's all right. It's a Tuesday, 5/12. Worst day of the week. As you all know, but we'll try to make it the best day for you. That's what we do here on 95.7 The Game. That's what the Warriors are trying to do this next season. You like that segue? The Warriors are trying to make it not a bad year. We already got the Niners. Things are looking good there. It's early. Brock Purdy, the hype is real. We're all getting excited. 3-0. Long way to go. But the Warriors are the team we are used to falling back on. And being like, you know what? No matter what's going on with the Giants, no matter what's going on with the 49ers and their choke jobs in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, no matter what's going on there, we always have Steph Curry to lean back on. And now, we got Chris Paul, another future Hall of Famer, to join. And I wonder how Warriors fans are feeling about that. Just taking the pulse real quick. I was listening to Willard and Dibbs a little bit yesterday, and Mark is still not wrapping his mind around this whole Chris Paul thing, and he's shocked how so many Warriors fans are all like, yeah, we're all in now. We're all good. Hey, Chris Paul, he's one of us. Mark's like, no. I think he said the Warriors said he want to puke. I wonder where Warriors fans are with Chris Paul. Time has passed. I think they finally wrapped their head around the notion. Jordan Poole's gone. Has the dark cloud been lifted? Has Draymond Green gotten everyone to buy in? Has he earned everyone's trust back? What's Steve Kerr going to be like? Kind of a disappointing summer if you're Steve Kerr. Kind of getting bounced in the FIBA World Cup in the championship game. Was it even the championship game? The semifinals? I wasn't following along closely. I think I was out that day. Losing to Germany? Can't happen. Just can't happen. They did. Dennis Schroeder. Steve Kerr's going to see that guy in his sleep. Flashbacks of the Western Conference semis when the Lakers took out the Warriors, but hasn't been the best year for Steve Kerr. Going back to the punch, going back to managing all the egos, managing all the young guys, Kuminga, Moody, what have you. Again, Jordan Poole in and out of the starting lineup. Curry injuries, Draymond. just so much. Bob Myers, is he staying? Is he going? He ultimately leaves. You got Mike Dunleavy Jr. getting elevated. There's a lot that Steve Kerr has had to juggle. And I think it's fair to say, and it's, it's okay to say, it's probably his worst year as a head coach in the NBA. Probably his worst year. Didn't make at least the Western Conference Finals, didn't make the NBA Finals. Something he hasn't done when all the guys are healthy, at least. Failed to get to the Denver Nuggets. And now, you got Chris Paul, a cantankerous personality, joining a feisty, putting it nicely, situation in Golden State. So I think a lot is going to be asked of him this year. And the conversation now is, should he be extended? Will he be extended? Well, Steve Kerr, Mike Dunleavy Jr. talked to the media yesterday. And here's Kerr talking about his expiring contract.
I feel great about my position here, and I want to be here. I know Mike and Joe want me here, and so I'm very confident something will get done, but I'm not stressed about it at all. And I'm perfectly capable of coaching, whether I have 1 year left or an extension makes no difference. So, but I fully expect to be here.
He fully expects to be here moving forward. I wonder where Warriors fans are at on Steve Kerr, 888-957-9570. That's what I want to kind of discuss this morning. Steve Kerr, not so much Mike Dunleavy Jr., and we'll get to what he had to say yesterday as well. Again, Kerr and Dunleavy speaking to the media, but it wasn't a good year for him. And I think he's been an unfair scapegoat a lot of the time when the Warriors have failed, because it can never be the golden boy Steph Curry. It can never be his fault. It can never be Draymond Green's fault. We saw that last year. Bye-bye Jordan Poole. Draymond Green, nothing to see here, whatever. He's our guy. He could do no wrong. Klay Thompson, a little bit of his fault in the playoffs. But again, 4 rings there. He's the Warriors fans' guy. Those are the core 3. Those are their guys. So when things go wrong, it's always easy to point at the Steve Kerrs of the world, the Gabe Kaplers, the Kyle Shanahans. That's what we as fans do, and that's what we in the media do. That's what we do. Gets fans upset. Hey, and you know what? That's good for our business in media. Controversy, that's good for us. Pointing the fingers, blame game, that's what happens. Whether it's fair or not, that's the way it goes. And when you are at the command of that many future Hall of Famers, you know what? You deserve some criticism. And I think, rightfully so, Steve Kerr took a lot last year. I wonder, though, coming off last year and the dark cloud that hung over the organization and the failures of Bob Myers and Steve Kerr, if that, changed a lot of Warriors fans' perceptions and how they view Steve Kerr. I know I've talked to Joe Shasky, and he'll join me here in about 25, 30 minutes for the crossover, as he does each and every Monday through Friday at 5:45. But he has said it that he has lost a little bit of respect for Steve Kerr after what went down this last year with the Jordan Poole saga, with the not elevating the young guys early on in the season, not giving them the touches they needed. That ultimately cost them later in the year when you could have used a guy like a Jonathan Kuminga against the LeBron James, when you had an ailing Andrew Wiggins who was gone for a few months. So, Steve Kerr, should the Warriors let him play out this next season? Should they? I'm kind of inclined to say yes. What say you? 888-957-9570. He's coming off his worst coaching season. Now you're adding Chris Paul to that. You had a lot of friction in that locker room. You think with the departure of Jordan Poole, a lot of that is cured. We shall see. Jordan Poole is still tight with a lot of those guys. Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, Kevon Looney, amongst others. So, can Kerr navigate this tricky locker room dynamic going forward? And you might say, Spadoni, there's nothing tricky about it. They're all adults. It's all about winning at the end of the day. Chris Paul's trying to get his first and maybe his only in the NBA. Curry's trying to tie Kobe, Duncan, Magic. You're trying to get all these guys their 5th rings. That's fine. I would just like to see him play it out. Because if it's another disaster like it was last season, then how are you feeling about it? You know, I did feel like Kyle Shanahan, and the NFL's different, I know, comparing two sports like basketball to football, the dynamics are so different. It's you know, Super Bowl or bust. We like to think that here in San Francisco, but they haven't really had the quarterback. You know, they haven't had the best quarterback. They're going up against the Mahomeses of the world. They're going up against Staffords, you know, Jalen Hurts. They haven't had the better quarterback matchup in all of those NFC championship games if you're Kyle Shanahan. I still think he deserved to get that extension from what we've seen early on here. I think it was the right move, but I could be wrong. They could get bounced in the first round of the playoffs if they make it this year, and maybe we're all head scratching here and Brock Purdy doesn't look great. And then it's all like, that could happen, absolutely. But I think where we're at right now with the San Francisco 49ers, I feel confident extending John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan with the players they've hit on lately, even with the whiff with Trey Lance in the emergence of Brock Purdy. Steve Kerr, on the other hand, now, I don't know who you're bringing in after this season. I'm not getting that far ahead of myself. I'm just saying play the season out, and let's see where it takes us. 888-957-9570. More from Steve Kerr yesterday on if he's made up his mind on the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we basically have 6 starters. I mean, the way I look at it, and only 5 can go each night. So I haven't decided yet what we're going to do. I want to see training camp. We're going to try different combinations and take a look. Obviously, all 6 guys are going to play a lot of minutes for us. But you know, if this is going to work, then everybody has to embrace it, regardless of who's starting and who's not. It only works if the whole team buys in, and I know these guys well. I know 5 of them really well, and I'm getting to know Chris. And one thing I know about all of them is they want to win more than anything. They're an incredibly competitive group, and I'm very confident that we'll figure it out, and the guys will buy in and find a way.
They need to buy in because the team was not bought in last year. That's going to be the number one question mark for the Golden State Warriors coming up this next season. The chemistry. How long is it going to take? Will it ever come there? You know, you heard Joe Lacob's comments. I believe it was Tim Kawakami on the TK podcast via The Athletic. Owner of the Golden State Warriors, governor, sorry. But he was joining Tim, and he was just like, you know what? I like the Chris Paul acquisition because it gives us flexibility. What did he mean by that? Was it flexibility within the roster? Was it the financial component? Was it both? Was it, you know what, this isn't working out halfway through the season, we could trade him? See, I'm part of the mindset that you traded for Chris Paul, you're expecting this guy to be a contributor in the playoffs. Now, past history has shown he's an older player. The wear and tear might not be there, but if he comes off the bench, if he is a spot starter in place of Curry, who's hurt or isn't resting, now, how's that going to work with the new, rules being set in place with, load management, all that sort of stuff? We'll wait and see how that works, but I'm of the mindset and of belief that you traded for Chris Paul because you need him to be a contributor come playoff time. You need that. There's obviously a lack of cohesion, a lack of faith and trust come playoff time when he played the Lakers last year, and you're going to need that faith and trust and a little pixie dust. Again, shout out Disneyland, Peter Pan. You're going to need that come playoff time this next year. And here's Steve Kerr talking about, starting potentially a small ball group with Chris Paul.
Yeah, we'll look at that for sure in camp and exhibition games and see what that looks like. It's hard to imagine that wouldn't click pretty well, given that you've got a lot of talent and versatility and scoring on the floor. I think that lineup, putting Loon on the floor at the 5, you could do as well, with four smaller guys and Loon at center. But as you know, we've started Loon and Draymond together for years. They're a great combination, probably one of the few 4-5 combinations in the league that is unique like that in terms of more screening than shooting. Most people are throwing 4 shooters out there. We're still throwing 2 bigs out there, and it's worked well, but we've always had the change up of going small. So we're going to look at all that.
888-957-9570 is the number to get involved. Do you think the Warriors should extend Steve Kerr prior to this next season, or do you let him play out? What say you? 888-957-9570. That's to call or text the Comcast Business Text line, and also weigh in on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union, I should say. We are live and streaming. Sam Lubman's on the chat, talking to Ernie Chavez. What's up, Sam Lubman? He's locked in. He's feeling great. He's got Brian Baldinger booked today, 7:30. You're not going to want to miss that. Baldy breakdowns better than everyone else. Breaks down the NFL. He's watching every single game. You know him. You love him. That's at 7:30. Then you got Jason Dumas coming into studio here at 8:30. He'll talk all Warriors. He'll talk Niners. He'll talk Giants. That guy's locked in. Cron 4 sports director. So can't wait for that. Jason Dumas in studio. Brian Baldinger, 7:30. Sam Lubman's kicking his feet up. So much so he's in the chat here on the pregame show. On the Comcast Business Text line, 408, is Curry's legacy affected with KD winning 2 finals MVPs and bringing home 2 championships? Curry wasn't even the best team on his own team. Well, I think Curry's legacy has already been cemented. He can further add to it. I think a 5th ring, and I've said that multiple times here, I think a 5th ring for Steph would mean more than any other championship that would come next here in the sports, Bay Area sports landscape, I should say. Like, the 49ers, quest for 6, okay, if they won the 6, that's great. I want Curry to get his 5th. If Curry gets his 5th, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. Some already have him there. I don't. I think rings do matter when it comes to these conversations. When we're talking about the greatest of the greats, the ring conversation matters. Now, you may say, Spadoni, LeBron James, he's only got 4, but you're saying he's in the top 5. Yes. There are special circumstances. There are nuances to this. LeBron's also been to a bajillion finals and won finals MVP for 3 different teams. There are levels to this. But I think if Sturry, that's good. If Steph gets that 5th, that puts him in the top 5, and I can start having the conversation that he is above LeBron James. Some people may find that ridiculous. I don't. I think he's looking up only to Jordan, maybe Kareem, Wilt, and if you want to put him right there with Magic, I will listen to that. But that's top 5. And you guys know my love and adoration for Kobe Bryant, my favorite player of all time. I'd put Steph ahead of him. Put him ahead of Tim Duncan. Ahead of Magic. Yes. So I do believe that 5th would mean a lot to Stephen Curry. It would mean a lot to the Golden State Warriors fan base. And I think it'd be the most important championship here in the Bay Area. 888-957-9570. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back. More of your calls and texts. Should the Warriors let Steve Kerr play out this year before giving him a new contract? What say you? 888-957-9570. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
When the going gets tough, Ram trucks keep you going. Hurry in for great deals during Ram Power Days. Ram, built to serve. Get 0% finance.
pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. We're rolling. What is love? Well, I know what we do love here. That's Brian Baldinger at 7:30 at the Morning Roast. Can't wait for that. Jason Dumas, 8:30 in studio with Bonte and Shasky. You're not going to want to miss that. Warriors, Niners, Giants, whatever. Cron 4 sports director, our guy here at 95.7 The Game as well, host Jason Dumas in studio, 8:30. We've been talking Giants, getting the dub yesterday. Talking a little Eagles, Niners. Eagles, ho-hum, another win on the road. Not even playing great. Jalen Hurts battling flu-like symptoms. Touchdown, 2 picks. A win. It's the mark of a great team. Not playing well on the road. 2-0 team you're going up against in Tampa, who's looked pretty good, decent. Baker having a renaissance. Back to earth a little bit yesterday. Just the disparity in the NFC. Listen, we've talked about it. We were talking about preseason. It's the Niners. It's the Eagles. I would have lumped the Cowboys in there prior to the Diggs injury. I think it's just so massive for that secondary. Yes, I know they still have Gilmore there, but it's just he was the heart and soul of that secondary, the swag, if you will. And I think it's going to be very hard to overcome, even with Micah Parsons in that ferocious front. I understand. Loss of Diggs, though, man, it's brutal. Also, Dak, a little shaky. Bad loss to the Cardinals, who the Niners are going to be facing this week. But it's the Eagles, it's the Niners, and then it's everyone else right now as it pertains to the NFC. Bengals also getting the dub last night, getting their first win on the year against the Los Angeles Rams. Good morning to all of you on Twitch and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. 888-957-9570 is the number to call or text the Comcast business text line. We've been reacting to some sound from Steve Kerr. We're going to hear from Mike Dunleavy Jr., Warriors GM, obviously. Spoke to the media yesterday. And the question I posed last segment prior to the break, do you want the Warriors to extend Steve Kerr right now? Do you think they should? Or are you saying, you know what? Let's let him play it out. Last year, probably his worst coaching job in the league. I want to see him do it now with Chris Paul. I want to see how he handles all these egos. I want to see how he handles all this stuff. Because if it doesn't work out, if you fail to reach at least the Western Conference Finals again, and it all blows up, then I think you have to have a conversation. Now, does that conversation, go so far as they move on from Steve Kerr? I'm not sure. But a conversation will need to be had. So that's why I'm in the camp of, let's wait and see. Let him play out this year. I don't think he could hurt. And Steve Kerr, again, for just joining us, said, you know what? I'm perfectly comfortable coaching on an expiring contract.
Feel great about my position here, and I want to be here. I know Mike and Joe want me here, and so I'm very confident something will get done, but I'm not stressed about it at all, and perfectly capable of coaching, whether I have 1 year left or an extension makes no difference. So, but I fully expect to be here.
888-957-9570. And good morning on YouTube chat, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Luis Robertson. I have faith in the Warriors and hope Steve Kerr will do some things differently this season. Fresh start. I hope Kerr won't be experimenting with lineups all season. Well, you would hope not. You would hope not. That was the problem last year. Guys didn't know their assignments. And when guys don't know their assignments and know their roles, they become, unsure on the court. And that bleeds into their confidence when they don't play well. And you saw that. And it was a microcosm of the entire team in Jordan Poole. Now he's gone. You bring in Chris Paul. Does that all change? You got a savvy veteran who's seen and knows everything. Very smart, intelligent, pushes the boundaries. He's going to let you know when you F up. He's going to get on you. He's another fiery personality along with Draymond Green. How's that going to work? How's that going to mesh? I want to say it's going to go well. I want to say this has the makings of, you know what? Maybe they can catch lightning in a bottle in the playoffs. It all works out and all meshes, and you're getting back to another NBA Finals. You're winning it? I don't know. Good morning to you, Dublin Marge, who loves the Warriors and Brock Purdy. Good to see you back in the chair. I appreciate that, Dublin Marge. Missed you. Always appreciate Dublin Marge chiming in here. 510, good morning, pre-gamers. There's no way you extend Kerr with rumors of Giannis looking to leave Milwaukee. I love Kerr, but he has no idea what to do with the big. Interesting. Didn't think about it with that angle. Think about the Giannis angle, if you will. And Steve Kerr is going to have a chance to court Giannis, potentially. Court, I don't know. Tampering, if you will. There's ways you can discuss these things. But the Olympics is around the corner. I would assume Giannis is playing with Greece. I would assume Greece would qualify. Maybe I don't want to assume these things. The world dynamics here, as we know, just watching FIBA, the world's catching up. They're good. Now, USA is going to have to put everyone back on their pedestal. Steve Kerr, head coach of the Team USA, obviously. But LeBron, Steph, Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum. Who am I missing? Someone else there? Devin Booker? Who else? Whoever you want. Put Clay on there, Draymond. It's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be very tough to beat. I can't wait for the Olympics next year. I can't wait. I know the last time we had it was the pandemic. It was just weird. I am a sucker for some of the storylines in the Olympics. Now, am I going to consume all the random sports? No. But basketball, I'll be in. We have baseball back now. I'll be into that. Soccer, even though it's under 21 or under 20, whatever the teams are, I'll be in on that. Tennis, in on that. And it's in Paris. Love Paris. A little chocolate croissant action. Let's go. But to the 510's point, overarching point of Giannis going to the Warriors, I don't think you do contracts based off of that. Now, maybe Joe Lacobs, you know what? He's a big fish, big game hunter. He's like, I'm looking for that next big fish. I'm looking down the line. Maybe he takes that into consideration. But I would think if you're Giannis, you would want to go to a place with stability. And looking at all the success that Steve Kerr has had, both as a player and a coach, that would be an allure for you. But maybe if Giannis is like, yeah, I want my own guy. If I'm going there, obviously you do whatever he takes. But I think Steve Kerr would be part of that plan. I would think. Not positive, but I would think about that. 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved. One more break here. We got the crossover coming on next. Joe Shasky will join me. I'll ask him his thoughts on Steve Kerr, some of the comments yesterday. Giants getting the dub yesterday. Logan Webb, his comments, where he sees the Eagles and Niners and the NFC. All that coming up next right here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines,
Things may be falling apart, but we're not here on the pregame show. 95.7 The Game, Joe Spadoni in. Joe Shasky joining me now for the crossover. A little wet this morning. Please be safe on those roadways driving. You got a flat tire, you got a nail in your tire, a screw in there. You know what? Pull over. Be safe. It's all right. It's going to be okay. I know Tuesdays suck. You weren't expecting this. But you know what? Life's unexpected sometimes.
No. I love this, this dewy rain. You know, when you wake up and the air feels crisp.
Oh, I'm a big, you're born on the peninsula, guys, so I'm a big fog guy.
Yes, like the heavy dew.
Yes.
To me, this is straight Frisco weather. I love it, right?
Yes.
Deep fog.
Yeah.
But 3.5, 4 weeks ago, I just got all brand new tires after having the same situation where I had run these tires to the limits.
Yes.
They rotated them, flipped them, switched them, whatever mechanics do. I trust you. Shout out Claudio's
I don't know
on
what
Mission
that
Street.
means when I think of you got to rotate your tires. I was like, you just take them out and
I don't
turn them around and shake them. I was like, what? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
I'm a horrible car guy too.
Yeah, so I don't pretend to be some car guy. So
just fixed a radiator in the Jeep.
Or
$800, but go ahead.
Or a car gal. Okay,
yes.
I don't pretend to be either.
Car person.
Exactly. Thank you. So we'll be non-binary here. But no, I wake up this morning and I'm like, oh, look at how wet it is. This is great. The air feels, and I do the
just crisp.
I put in this brand new light. Shout out my boy Rocco who installed this beautiful light in front of my house to try to maybe have a person think twice when they try to break into one of our cars in front of the house. And the light flips on as the motion detector picks me up, and I look at my car, and God, it looks so good. I just got it cleaned yesterday. And I look at the front right tire, and I go, you got to be kidding me. So I look, I bend down, I go, and I could see a giant silver screw, not a nail, a screw, stuck in it. And I'm like, I literally just had this happen 4 weeks ago. I have horrible luck when it comes to vehicles.
This was you when you woke up this morning.
Tough to watch.
Yeah. You're Sean Payton. It was tough to watch this morning.
Look, it's not the end of the world.
Slowly died and died.
But here's what I will say. Shout out Wheelworks because I booked an appointment so effortlessly right there in the driveway for 10:30 this morning.
There you go.
I'll be going to the Skyline Wheelworks, and they've always done me well.
They work on wheels. That's what they do.
Well, I just need to get it done right away.
Huge.
It's the work car.
Absolutely. No, there's nothing worse than having car problems and just delaying it, and then it gets worse and worse. Especially the tires. You got to get that fixed right away. Speaking of getting fixed right away.
Plus, I'm going to Tahoe this weekend, Joey. I got to have it just
that was a little sneak it in there.
You like that?
Have some fun.
You like that?
I do like that. Should be nice. Nice to be clear. I think the fires are clearing up there, so the smoke should be all.
Well, this
clear.
is great for the air quality, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on today?
San Francisco Giants. Real quick, we're gonna get to.
Oh, what would you like to know?
We're gonna get to the same. You're wearing your San Francisco Giants hat. Sam Lubin, obviously.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the garlic fries and baseball guys crushing it all year long. The season's winding down now. Giants all but done. They're 4.5 games back with only a few to play here now. Logan Webb. I want to play this sound for you because he pitched a complete game yesterday, only allowed the one run, got the dub. It was great to see it. It was feeling like for a while there in that game that he was just going to get screwed again. This is going to be a 1-0 loss. This is going to be night for the San Francisco Giants. They get the dub. They're 78-79, clinging to hope still, which is fading fast. But here's Logan Webb after the game. And it really struck me. I was like, I wasn't expecting this after this game and after just a great win for him. But here's what he said after the game.
I'm tired of losing. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun. Some big changes in here to really create that winning culture that we want to show up every single year and try to win the whole thing. I think we're there. It's just we gotta. I don't know what it is, but I'm just sick of losing.
So obviously quality not the best there. You got the music in the background, but I'm sick of losing. Is basically what I got from that. He just wasn't very happy. Like you can just see, and he's the leader of the team, so he knows where they're at. They're not going to make the playoffs, and ultimately, that's what he plays for. He wants to make the playoffs. They had an amazing run 2 years ago, and Logan Webb was at the forefront of that. He was a baller against the Dodgers in 2 games there. And he goes from that to 2 mediocre seasons back-to-back. And outside of him and Doval, Bailey had a nice emergence, Matos, okay, Luciano had some nice at-bats, but really, what do you take after this year? Like, if you're a Giants fan.
Well,
and if you're Logan Webb, what do you take out of this year? It was kind of a waste, wasn't it?
What I take is they need sweeping changes. Well, that's obvious to me.
It's kind of felt like that's what I was hearing from Logan right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this mouse. Sorry, I'm having some troubles over here.
It's all right. Car works.
Logan Webb does not say a whole lot. He's not a guy that is going to be rah, fiery dude that gets the fans all pumped up. Like, he's kind of like, grab your hard hat and your lunch pail and let's go to work.
He's soft-spoken, but he leads by example.
So when a guy like him says that, I mean, who else on this roster has the cachet to where it'll sink in like that?
Yeah.
This, to me, is the sweeping indictment of you got to get rid of Farhan and you got to get rid of Gabe Kapler.
Wow.
To me, they're a package deal. I can't let Farhan hire another coach because whoever he coaches is going to manage the game the exact same way Gabe Kapler has. Yeah. Apparently, there was a team meeting again, and Ron Wotus, or one of the guys on the bench, got up. Not Ron Wotus, but one of the guys on the bench got up and said some stuff. And to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's been 3 different player meetings, multiple manager meetings,
a lot of disgruntled players.
What are we doing?
Take
a look from the outside in. Like, even the staunchest Kapler supporter or Farhan supporter, they're exactly where they were 2018. Like, it's been 5 years.
I mean,
what are we giving them? Another 5?
It's pretty amazing how now you're seeing all the different beat writers come out and say, "Oh, this isn't sustainable." I was like, "Well,
about time you came around to my side."
I mean, we've been kind of saying this, and you guys have been saying it specifically. Joe Shasky and Bonte Hill, the Morning Roast. You've been saying this isn't a sustainable product. Like, it's just not going to work. You have to get everyday players because ultimately these guys that are buying in and not seeing the results and actually getting worse, then they're going to be like, "Oh no, why would I come back here? You guys are trying to ruin my career."
Joe Lacob's playing hardball with Steve Kerr, and he has 4 championships.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
I mean, just to give you an idea of how different things operate. I'm not asking everyone to operate the way Joe Lacob does, because it works for his organization. You don't apply Amazon's business principles to Joe's liquor store, but there are characteristics that you can admire and look at, and I just look at the way the Niners and the Warriors operate. I just don't think that they would accept where the Giants are at if they were the ones running that business.
You know what's sad? Sam and I were talking about this yesterday in the back room. I think I came out of this year with more optimism about the Oakland A's starting lineup than I do with the San Francisco. No, seriously. Ruiz, I can count on that guy.
Your boy, the catcher.
Zach Geloff.
20 homers.
Yeah, Zach Geloff. Yeah, Shea Langolier, 20 bombs. Zach Geloff, who's been the best rookie in the AL the last couple months. Brent Rooker, out of nowhere, 30 home runs, an all-star this year. Maybe that's a one-year wonder. Who knows? But young players coming up where I could be excited about outside of Logan Webb and Camilo Doval.
Both
Patrick
Bobby
Bailey,
Evans guys.
Both, exactly. And then Patrick
So
Bailey.
is Luciano.
Yeah. And Luciano,
It's Bailey.
It's Bailey. That right?
And if you've been watching the last month, Bailey's been taking on water.
Yes.
And I love the guy. I think he's
been great.
I think he's going to be a really solid Major League Baseball player. But to say that the Gold Glove is his for the next decade and he's going to bat 5, 6, 7 in the order, are you watching? He's struggling right now offensively.
Real quick on the Golden State Warriors, wanted to get your thoughts on this.
I can't wait to talk Warriors.
I know, and
it's a palate cleanser.
You're going to have Jason Dumas in Studio 830 Cron 4. He's tapped in with the Warriors, obviously. That's going to be really fun to listen to. You're not going to want to miss that. Steve Kerr and Mike Dunleavy Jr. speaking to the media yesterday. Here's Steve Kerr talking about whether he's comfortable coaching on an expiring contract.
I feel great about my position here, and I want to be here. I know Mike and Joe want me here, and so I'm very confident something will get done, but I'm not stressed about it at all, and I'm perfectly capable of coaching. Whether I have 1 year left or an extension makes no difference. But I fully expect to be here.
So full disclosure, and I don't want to make a big deal about, contracts and that, but I was in the last year of a contract this last year. And I've been to be honest with you, there were moments, not the entirety, where I was like, come on, man. Now you got to understand where Steve Kerr is at fiscally, where Joe Shasky's at fiscally, where
neck
Steve
and
Kerr,
neck, right? Yeah, very close.
Where Steve Kerr is at within his industry, where I'm at in the industry. We're talking about two polar opposites.
No, we're talking about elite craftsmen at the top of their game is what we're talking about.
But what I would say is there is a calming force to re-upping and understanding. Not that you're not going to keep trying hard and trying to go at it, but having that contract in the back pocket and re-upping, there's something to be said for that. And I really would like to know what the holdup is. What are the particular things that are holding them up? Because you just did this with Bob Myers, and maybe Bob wanted to go the entire time. I don't really know going into it. But as this thing goes on and the season goes on, it is going to wear a little. Now, I know I'm not saying Steve's not professional. It's just natural for a human to feel the pressure. Like, are you going to keep me or are you not? You know, like at some point, you're going to be stressed out over it a little.
Where does Joe Shasky, the fan, come in on this? Do you want him to play out this year before giving a contract? Because we just gave Kyle Shanahan, John, different sport, obviously, a lot of different variables
with a very different backdrop of the organization.
Yes, absolutely. I would say Jed York needs stability. Joe Lacob needs rings. That's what he cares about. And he's had a lot of stability with Steph, with Clay, with Dre, and with Steve Kerr. That core four, you can toss an Iguodala if you want in there as well. But last year, and you said this, and I thought it really rung true. You said you lost a little bit of respect for Steve Kerr last year because of the job that he and Bob Myers did.
A variety of reasons.
But it was not a good coaching year for him. No. Probably his worst in the NBA.
Is Popovich the same coach today that he was 10 years ago?
It's hard to say because he hasn't had the talent around him. If he has the talent, maybe.
Part of being a coach is connecting with the youth.
Yes.
Right? No matter what age it is.
He has Wembanyama now, so maybe.
Well, we will see. Yeah. I don't think he's the same coach he was 10 years ago. I think he really worked with those guys, and it was beautiful music. I mean, it's like being in a great band.
Yes.
I definitely... people don't view coaching as a skill where it gets better or worse over time. I believe Andy Reid to be better today than he was 10 years ago.
I can buy that.
Okay.
He also has Patrick Mahomes.
I don't believe Belichick to be better today. Not that he's not great. He is. But I don't think he connects with the modern player in the way that he used to. I don't know if his game is aging as the game evolves the way it used to. That doesn't mean he can't win. I'm not saying that. I'm saying 10 years ago, there's no one in the game that you're taking as a football mind over Belichick. I don't think you'd say that today.
Well, players always make the coaches. That just... It's 1,000%. Mahomes made Reed now. Montana made Walsh. Like that to me. Like the players always make the coaches. To that. Tom Brady, I think we're all finding out now. He kind of made Bill, but not the defensive side. I
Bill's
get it early
great.
on. Bill's at all time.
They elevate each other. Is the way I would say.
But I think
in the same way
Tom
Curry
Brady did
and Kerr.
with Tampa, I think that showed a lot of people like, oh, Tom Brady was kind of the culture there. He was the Patriot way.
Look, Curry won with Luke Walton as head coach.
Yes.
Right? But that doesn't mean Luke Walton is on the same level as Steve Kerr.
Yes.
Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yes. I think in basketball, more than any other sport, I think the players obviously dictate so much more. Like, I'm not like Ty Lue has a ring with LeBron James. I'm not putting Ty Lue as one of the greatest coaches of all time. Like that, just sort of stuff like that happens.
Look, I know Steve can coach the core. Clay and Steph.
He's got relationships with these guys. Yes.
Yeah, like that's obvious, right? Now, as their relationship evolves, how much of a short rope does he have with some of these guys? The most important thing for this year when it comes to the vibes, they need a deeper bench. They need guys firing on all cylinders off that bench.
Yeah.
And it is imperative for him to get the best out of Kuminga and Moody and this young guy that they took from Indiana and Saric and a lot of these bench guys. The best version of the Warriors over the last few years, of course, the trio at the top was playing outstanding basketball. But they also got the best out of the others, the Livingstons, the Iguodalas, and that's where Chris Paul comes in, and that's where Kuminga and Moody and those guys, they need to take a leap forward.
Absolutely. And you're speaking of the best of and the best of both.
God, I'm ready to talk
the best
Warriors.
of both worlds. Shout out Hannah
refreshing.
Montana. Best of both worlds with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky here on the Morning Roast, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and